and how to configure build triggers for polling and scheduling. So this is the main part of configuring builds. So you know what is status and what is a chain set, and what is the workspace, and what is configure. You know about all these options, right? So the important things that we have seen yesterday is, so giving the URL of your project and selecting your source code management system, and then configuring build triggers and configuring the build step. You know, if I maximize, I cannot see your message chat messages. And post build actions. In the post build action section, we have configured how to archive artifacts. So you can give directory also. So it will list all the artifacts in the directory. So this is all about the project configuration. So it has some other options also. The simple options you can directly understand by reading from here. So discard old builds. So if you see that there are 9 builds that are in the build history. So if I don't want to keep more than 5 builds in the build history, I can say discard old builds, and number of builds to keep is 5. And the build parameterized. So for the build, if you wanted to send any parameters, so you can add parameters. And this disable build is, so people, when you save it, people cannot run build on it. So if you disable build on this project, so there are small handy options that you can use. And email notification, you can configure to whom the email should be sent whenever there is a failure or something happens. So this is about this configuring job in Hudson. Has anyone tried to work on it, or do you have any questions on this configuring job? Okay, yeah, let us move to next part, installing plugins. So as I told you, plugin is a product on top of Hudson, so which will provide some feature to you. So any feature that is delivered on Hudson will be on as a plugin. Suppose we have integration with Subversion, we have integration with concurrent versions, CVS, JIT. So we have in source code management section, we have CVS and JIT and Subversion. So why I am able to see all these options is, so there are 3 plugins installed. The plugin related to CVS, the plugin related to JIT, and the plugin related to Subversion is installed on my Hudson server. So each feature is a plugin. Suppose if you are asked to upload the files, upload the artifacts to some other FTP server. Now the artifacts are available on the Hudson server, so you are able to download from here. Suppose there can be a requirement to upload the files generated artifacts to some FTP server. So in that case, what you can do, there is no option available here to directly configure the FTP server details and making the projects artifacts to upload to the FTP server. So in that case, we can see okay whether there are any plugins that are available which will help us to upload the artifacts to the FTP server. So plugin is nothing but a feature. We need to install from manage plugins. Yeah. So when it comes to, so you go to manage Hudson and there manage plugins. So it will list you all the available plugins. So there are some 300-400 plugins are available based on different requirements, and it will show you the installed plugins. So there are 9 to 10 plugins are installed. So we have this CVS plugin, JIT plugin, and Subversion plugin. So all these plugins are installed by default when you install the Hudson server. So because these plugins are installed, so in your project configuration, you are able to see the options for CVS, JIT, and Subversion, and Maven and all. So if you wanted to install any new plugin based on your requirement, so you can check the available plugins. So you can search in the available plugins and you can install the required plugin. So there are plugins for different options. Suppose as I told, the requirement is after the artifacts are generated, we wanted to copy the artifacts to some of the FTP location. So in that case, okay, I will see whether there is any plugin that is available for publishing artifacts to FTP location. Okay, there is some plugin called FTP Publisher plugin. So this plugin can be used to upload the artifacts and whole directories to an FTP server. So for using this feature, I need to install this plugin. So there is one more plugin called Hudson Deploy plugin. See, this plugin is to deploy EAR where build artifacts. So if your application is web application or enterprise application, the artifact would be the where or EAR file. So the artifacts to remote application servers. Supported servers are JBoss, Glassfish. So if you install this plugin, so once the build is successful and the artifacts is available, so you can upload this, you can deploy the artifacts in the application server. So this is also one of the requirements that you might be asked during in real time. So whenever there is a requirement for deploying the artifacts, so you need to install this deploy plugin. So the supported servers are JBoss, Glassfish, and Tomcat. Similarly, there are so many plugins available based on our requirement. Based on our requirement, we will identify these plugins. Yeah, most commonly used plugins are this code coverage related plugins and static code analysis plugins. static code analysis and this check style. So if it is Java project, Kobochra code coverage related plugin. So in code coverage also there are different kinds of tools available. So if you are using Kobochra as a code coverage tool, so then you need to install the Kobochra plugin. So there are different types of applications in Java. Web application is nothing but normal our website applications like shopping carts and all. So enterprise application is more of internal to the enterprise. And heavyweight applications are normally enterprise applications are. So this EMA is also one of the code coverage plugin. So you can use when they are asked to get the code coverage, you can use either Kobochra or EMA plugin. Yeah. Now we will just install. We have selected this FTP publisher plugin. So we will just install it and see. Yeah, once the installation is completed, Hudson needs to be restarted for changes to take effect. Yeah, based on your requirement, you need to you need to identify the required plugin and you need to install it. It depends on our requirement. Suppose if they are asked to get the code coverage, you need to identify the plugins related to code coverage and the related tool. You need to install the related plugin. So now it is installed successfully. So we will just restart. Okay. Now I got an option for FTP. So I can add FTP sites. And in project configuration, in post build section, yeah. So there is option called publish artifacts to FTP. Here you can select the FTP site created in configure system and you can add the files to upload. You can just give this is the source file and the destination location in your FTP server. You can give it. So when you install plugin, so the options related options for configuring the functionality related to plugin. You can identify either in configure system or in the project configuration. So you can verify and you can configure the options over there. So if in the installed plugins, this FTP publisher plugin is also available. So if you need to install any other plugins, so you can just install from here. So based on, see, there are so many plugins available. Is it clear now, my voice? Hello? Okay. So yeah, that is based on your requirement. You need to identify the required plugin and we need to install. So now, did you understand what is a plugin and how to install a plugin? Hello? Did you understand anything about plugin? A plugin is nothing but a feature. Suppose a system is available and it has 100 features. So by default, so the 5 features are given. So if you need a particular feature, you need to install corresponding plugin. So by default, it has integrations with Subversion. It was given. By default, it was given integration with CVS and SVN. Suppose there is one more source code management system, ClearCase comes in. So you, for configuring the ClearCase project, so your project might not be using Subversion or CVS or JIT. So your project might be using source code management system like ClearCase. So in that case, so you need, while configuring your project, you need to give the URL of the ClearCase server. So in that, but the ClearCase plugin is not installed. You cannot give the details of the ClearCase server. So in that case, what you do? So you come here and check. So if there is any plugin is available related to ClearCase. Yeah, here you can identify there is in a source code management section. So there is a plugin. Yeah, in source code management section, there is a plugin with name ClearCase plugin. So you can install this ClearCase plugin. So what it will do, it integrates Hudson with ClearCase. So this is also one of the source code management system like Subversion. So if you install this plugin, so you can use ClearCase Subversion system also for configuring the project. Suppose if it is a different source control system, you need to install the related plugin. So there are different source control systems like Accurio and all. So Perforce is also one of the source code management system. So if your project is configured with Perforce system, so you need to install Perforce plugin and configure the project. Is that clear? Clear now? This is one use case. Similarly, these are post build actions. There is some plugin called Twitter plugin. So this is a build notifiers. So you can install a plugin called Twitter. This plugin posts build results to your Twitter. So this plugin posts the build results to Twitter. So if you install this plugin and configure it, so the build results will be posted to the Twitter account. So this is the use of plugins. Based on the need, you will you need to identify and install the related plugin. So that is about plugins. So next we see authentication and authorization part. Now everybody can access this Hudson dashboard, but I wanted to control the access to the Hudson dashboard by enabling security. So in Hudson, manage Hudson, configure system. So you have option to enable security. So when it comes to security, there are two types of access control. One is authentication, second one is authorization. So authentication is nothing but providing access to the users. Authorization is giving some permissions for some actions and not allowing permissions, not allowing to perform some actions. So authentication, you can configure the user authentication with external systems like servlets or LDAP, or you can use Hudson's own database. So if you use Hudson's own database, the users will be created in Hudson environment. So if you use LDAP, so the users might be already available in one of the active directory of the company. So there you can give the details of the active directory server and root and manager DN and password. So we don't have any active directory now. We use Hudson's own user database. So when it says Hudson own user database, it's showing three options: allow users to sign up. So whenever there is a whenever you open dashboard, there is option will be shown here on about sign up. Yeah. Now I enabled security and authentication part I set to Hudson own user database and allow users to sign up. So I am creating an user admin. So now I logged in as a user admin. I will create one more user. Yeah. So I have created user, even though I am logging in, the all options are I am able to see. So you can provide, so there is authorization is different types of authorization. Even though there are users, anyone can do anything is the authorization. So now I will say only logged in users can do anything. Save it. So if you see in the left side, there are no options available except build history and people. So because I am not logged in, so if you wanted to do something, you need to log in. So this way the Hudson will provide access control. So even though if you select the project, so you can just see the project status and you can download the artifact. So you cannot do any changes to the configuration, or you cannot trigger a build. Now what I will do is I will log in now. Yeah, when I log in, I am able to see all the options. And here also I can do build and I can configure, I can do anything. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So I logged out as hello. Are you able to hear? Hello. Is it audible now? Okay. So I logged in as a admin user. I log in as a normal user. So there is no difference. Normal user also can do. Normal user also can do managing Hudson and all admin activities. But I wanted to control. I will just explain what I have done. I have created two users. One is admin and one is user one. So I have set access, only logged in user can do any operations. So anonymous user cannot do anything. He can just view if you log out. So it is anonymous user. So he cannot just do anything except viewing builds or other things. So if you wanted to perform some action, you need to log in. So why that is, in enable security, I have configured the authorization logged in users can do anything. Now I am logging in as admin. In enable security, so I am saying not logged in users, matrix based authentication. So this is like, so you can specify here what user can do what. Yeah. Now I have user called admin. So if I give overall administration, then he can do all the options in manage Hudson. So for admin, I have given all the options. So for the user one, I will give only options to build, read, For anonymous user, I have just given the read permissions. For the user one, I have given the build permission. Now if I am logged in as admin and I can see all the options. See, now I log in as a user one. So even though I logged in, I cannot see the option like manage Hudson and all, because I restricted access for the user one and he can do build. So I have given the permissions for the user one to build option. Suppose if it is anonymous user, he cannot have the build option. Suppose if I log out, so he cannot even read the builds also. Because for anonymous user, I have just given the read permission. I did not give any read permission on builds. So it is not displaying anything. So if I need to give the read permission on builds to anonymous user, so I will just log in as admin. Now this manage Hudson option can only seen by admin. Not everybody will see this option. Because I have given administrator rights only to admin. Now I give permissions on job read permissions to the anonymous user. And save it. Now if I log out, I am able to see the jobs. So this is how you can configure security in Hudson. And you can assign permissions based on the requirement. So these are all different types of actions that user can do: administration and read, configure, delete, create on slave, configure, read, build, workspace, delete on job. So based on the configuration options we made available to him, he can do that, only that actions. So you can have an admin user who can do all the overall administration, and all the remaining users you can control authorization and you can control access of him from this location. So if it is not enabled security, by default everybody can do anything. Yeah, this is all about authentication and authorization. So is that clear?